Well, hello and welcome. I'm Matt Bevere with Ashland Theological Seminary, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Scott Soden. Today we're going to be talking about the Faith-Based Entrepreneurship program at the seminary, and Scott's been a participant, so I thought it would be valuable to get a sense from him about his experience and what was valuable for the program. Scott, welcome. Thanks for being willing to sit down and talk a bit.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're happy to do that. So, first of all, before I ask you questions about the program, tell folks that are listening a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Scott Soden. I am the coordinator of global partners for the Brethren Church, located here in Ashland, Ohio. That basically means that I build bridges between the churches in the U.S. That are brethren and our partners in 10 different countries. And of course, bridges between each of them as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you. So, let's talk about the faith based entrepreneurship program. Tell us a little bit about your role, your participation in the program.
Right. Well, I was in the Thriving Church Ministries program a year or so ago and was approached by Dr. Bill Beachy, who was talking about this pilot that they were getting ready to do. Because of my background, I've not only been a pastor, but I've worked in several different organizations, different ventures. I've been in the pipe fitters and plumbers union. I worked for a welding and machining company. I worked for Big Lots as a manager for a time. I have all these little irons in the fire. He was talking about the idea of what it looks to meld our work and our spiritual experiences together in an understanding of a presentation of our call. So he called it the Faith-Based Entrepreneur program. It was a certificate. I believe it was 5 classes and 16 credit hours. And it was a joint project between both the university and the seminary, which was really exciting. So you got credit for these classes that you could use for if you're continuing on for other programs. You had some credit that way, so that really got me excited. Just to get a sense of let's take a look and connect into that. The people I work with also in other countries, the question we have is as we build sustainable churches in other places, we recognize most of our pastors are not going to be able to have just this one career, just this one area where they're going to get paid well in their church, and that's all they do. Most of them have to work outside of the church as well. We're seeing a shift in the U.S. towards that. It's very evident in our churches around the world. So is this something that might be beneficial to some of our pastors and our leaders? Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great concept, and you're right. There are 5 classes. They are classes that combine finance and marketing with theology classes, practical ministry courses as well. So, as you reflect on your experience in the cohort, Scott, what were what would you say the most significant benefits are that you could see that would have been applied to your ministry and faith?
One of the things that I discovered, and there's a number of them, was the connection between myself and the rest of the students. There were 6 of us in this first pilot project, all from very different roles. Some were pastors, some are teachers, but all kind of creating new businesses or in the marketplace. So figuring out what it looks like to use ideas and concepts to bring our faith into those areas of our lives was just a significant set of conversations. We built relationships. Several of us are going to continue on in a mastermind type project just to continue meeting together, and that for me was really significant. The classes were great. Some of them I've already done. My bachelor's is in business administration, so I had some of that in the background. But looking at business administration, looking at whether you're a manager or you're starting your own business, and getting the catch from where it's just a business, the regular stuff you do every day, and the spiritually stuff we talk about on Sunday. What does that look like to make those two connect, that intersection? And the spiritual formation class was good. The theology class, we used a couple of books in there that really brought that concept into a whole, and it was just dynamic.
Wonderful. Yeah. And being able to integrate ministry with theological reflection and
Mm,
business principles and all of that. And it really, as you have already indicated, so important in today's ministry landscape because the number of bivocational pastors is increasing and will continue to increase. And pastors are going to need to be equipped to
absolutely.
understand ministry from an entrepreneurial perspective. So it's very important. I like the idea that you and a couple of other folks are going to continue, and it sounds like you're going to kind of help each other along as you're grappling with the ways to apply these principles into your ministry.
Yeah, yeah, we were really excited about the concept. A few of our classmates were kind of moving into new roles, which kind of precluded them from getting engaged. But there were three of us who said, "Yeah, we absolutely want to be connected, continue to work with each other," and we all three had significant resources from the different areas we were in that we could contribute to one another and also gain from one another. So I love that idea. I'm looking
Great.
forward to that.
That sounds exciting. So when you think about, you said you were in a cohort. There were six of you. So when you
Mm-hmm.
think generally think of your other participants that were with you, what were some of the things that from your perspective made an impact on them from the program?
Well, again, the business classes were good. They helped us to all focus on, understanding what again, building your business, business models. We got a good overview of that. Working through accounting, and we gained some really great tools to use as we're working through of that. Again, all of that from the idea of of understanding the spiritual significance of all those pieces. One of the pieces that I think impacted us all the most, going back to that theology class, we were working through a book, Kingdom Calling, and I'm trying
Yes,
to remember the gal's name that wrote it. Great
Amy
book.
Sherman.
Thank you, Amy Sherman. That book specifically spoke to most of us, where we spent a lot of time going back and talking about the Sadakim, which is that idea of the people we are called to be. One of the gentlemen that I meet with, we have a Wednesday night group that I meet with, and I was talking to him about this book. He ended up purchasing the book. We've been kind of walking through it a little bit, talking about the idea of what we do as entrepreneurs, in our spiritual lives as well, giving a foretaste of what the kingdom will look like when Christ restores it. We're talking about, it's not just about our spiritual lives get renewed, but the entire cosmos, the whole world, is going to be
Mhm.
reshaped into Christ's image. So this ought to be a foretaste of what that looks like in the way we practice, in the way we talk, in the way we live, in the way we do things. I don't know about you, Matt, but I've done businesses with places that tell me they're Christian businesses, and I would much rather go to people that aren't Christian because their practices have been. I'm just a better example of what I would expect.
Yeah.
This turns that on its head and says, this is who we are called to be, and this is what it should look like. That was probably for all of us, and I'm just speaking about my experience, but knowing the one, especially the class I was in, I'm pretty sure we would all come up and say, we'd not heard it from that perspective before. We'd
Hmm.
not really, tasted it in those terms. So having that language behind us, being able to share it again, I shared it with a guy in my group, and he's already reading it. So significant impact.
Yes, absolutely, and that is a wonderful book. Sherman's book is certainly it's a very very important book, and the idea of being able to use that book in class to be able to really reflect on the implications for Christians who are entering into the marketplace
Yeah,
is really important. And as you say, really embodying what it means to be people of faith as you go about practicing your business and your ministry, right? Together. Very good.
absolutely.
So I have one last question for you. If I were a pastor, and to say I'm a bivocational pastor, and I'm looking at this program, what would you say to me to encourage me to enroll in the program?
Well, there's several things I would tell you. The first is it only takes. I mean, it's going to take some time because again, they are master's level courses, so obviously you have to put some time into it. But as far as your time online with the cohort, one night a week. So not that difficult. A lot of reading in different aspects, but not reading as in the academic, like this is very A plus B equals C type stuff, but deeply spiritual, connecting things. I think this program is one that will, especially for pastors, help us to recognize not just how we can be entrepreneurial in our own outright and connecting, but there's a piece in many churches where we sometimes forget to tell people that what they're doing in their lives is a calling as well, and that my calling as a pastor isn't really any different than theirs. It may have other things that are involved in this, but theirs are critical because they're
Hmm.
dealing with people that as a pastor I may not deal with. So
Yeah.
we need to encourage our people. We need to help them find the tools that will allow them to thrive and to grow and to give the world around them a foretaste of what that kingdom comes from. I think if you're going to look for something, this class will help you not only gain the tools, you find the language, but also will give some insight to anybody who takes it to help others in their church, others in their communities, whether it's a Bible study, whatever, to gain those same that same level of encouragement and connection. I just can't state that more.
Hmm. Wonderful. Well, that's a good testimonial, Scott. I don't think I have anything to add to that, except to once again thank you for taking the time to talk with me about the faith-based entrepreneurship program. And certainly, if you watch this and you're interested, you can contact us at Ashland Seminary, and we'll be certainly happy to discuss the program and answer your questions. So, thanks again, Scott.
My pleasure, Matt. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Take care.